Okay. Thank you.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. I think before I bombard you with a lot of questions, I just want to like give you a quick background on like what I'm trying to do and then how did I ended up in trading. So like I said, like I work for Amazon. It's usually a 8 hours job, supposed to be 8 hour job. Uh, but I think I'm also friends with Jazz and Lovepreet. That's how I came to know about trading. I started like a month ago, seriously, and then right now the primary thing that I'm struggling with is to have like some dedicated path in which like I can learn. Uh, I've been going through our morning meetings, like morning their live trading sessions. I've been finding it like super helpful in terms of like understanding your thought process on how do you think about taking a trade. Uh, but I somehow like I feel like you're already at a certain level, and how do I like what are the baby steps that I can take uh, in terms of like me as a beginner, so that like I can grow myself into this like new thing.
Mhm. Alrighty. So you're just new in the business. What you need is a simple method to get started with. The key thing is you need a method. You need a strategy, a way of executing that strategy. A method, nice and easy. So let's see. There are many different simple ones. For you being, trading in the group that I'm trading with, and to keep it really simple, there are a few different strategies. Hold on, let me pull it up here. Have you gravitated, firstly, have you gravitated towards any particular styles yet? Have you read any books about strategies, about trading that makes
Oh yeah,
sense to you?
yep,
Yeah.
yep. I think so when I said like I started a month ago, I started actually taking trades a month ago. Before that, I was reading books. I've read a bunch of them, like gone through the patterns, like different patterns that we have, the common ones, and yeah, I'm aware of the terminology, but I'm not aware of like how to use or when to use
Mm.
those.
Okay. All right. So let's do it this way. The easiest way for you to begin perceiving a direction on a stock is just watching it go in one direction. So in hindsight, you'll be able to see, okay, it's been going up or it's been going down in the first 30 minutes of the day or whatever it is, right? So you at least have that clear direction. So one thing not to do is to go against the direction, trying to catch a reversal. Forget about that. To begin with, upfront, look for a continuation of the direction that's already established. Nice and easy, right?
Yep.
Simple enough. So the simplest, easiest way to do that is to look at what we call the ABCD pattern. You familiar with that? You've seen
Yep.
that, right? Okay. So I will suggest you stay focused or get focused on the ABCD pattern. It's very straightforward. It goes one way, it relaxes for a bit or even retraces a little, and then continues the same direction. Nothing to it, right? So conceptually, it's very, very simple, but you've got to get good at it because there are nuances. And as in when you're observing it in real time, you might misperceive it and it actually goes against you, or you'll realize that it was way too already gone. It's not going to go anymore, whatever, all that stuff. So does that make sense to you? Going with a simple ABCD pattern kind of strategy, as easy as it
Yep.
gets.
Yep, it does. Just suggesting like I look out for like ABCD pattern strategies and like observe the patterns and observe the like market and then identify like what all are opportunity, where does this pattern applies. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
shall I take trade? Shall I do like stocks, options, or paper trading, or like or just observe?
No, definitely get into it. Once you see what you got to do is I can tell you all the different rules about an ABCD pattern, or any other strategy, no big deal. But that's not going to help you. I think what will help you first is it's a step-by-step thing. The first thing you got to do is you've read about the ABCD pattern, right, in various books. So write notes from what you've read from there. So a procedural thing. So the first thing is it goes in one direction. Second thing is it consolidates. Third thing is it breaks through. So I mean, you can just write that down. Basically, write your 3 lines, 4 lines, and then also write down in there where you would enter. Again, I can tell you where I would enter, but it's important that it comes out from you rather than me imposing upon you, because that way it's more, resonate with you. So, so now what you've written down is what it looks like. Then you write down where you would enter this position, where you would put your stop, and where you would put your target. So those are very basic things. So you at least write that down. Now you've got a strategy. That's your trade book. Once you've got that written down, then go practice it in the replay mode. In tradingterminal.com, we have the replay mode. Get in there and just practice and practice and practice. You don't have to wait for the market to open. You can practice 1,000 trades in a week. You don't have to wait for the market to open, and you get one trade maybe every 2 days. Don't do that. So and of course, it's not real money. It's just a matter of practicing the strategy and figuring out how you perceive things and how you execute on that strategy. That's really critical. And once you do, let's say, 100 practice trades, now you have statistics. What have the results been? Overall profitable, not profitable? Where are the mistakes? Where are you able to do it accurately, and where are you struggling with the execution side or just the perception side of things, right? Which moving averages or which indicators seem to help you with the strategy, and which ones tend to be confusing for you? For a lot of people, using the VWAP and the moving averages works for them, but for you, it may not be that. You may struggle with that, for example. And therefore, maybe you have to tweak the strategy to remove those indicators and maybe add something else that is actually making more sense to you. Perhaps some sort of levels or a bigger time frame, whatever it may be, right? So you've got to go through this process. I mean, I've gone through this process. A lot of people have. And for me to just tell you my way of doing it, again, won't really help you, because that's my way and it's coming out of the way I perceive things, right? And you're not me and I'm not you. So we're two different personalities. We have two different sets of eyes. So it's got to come from inside you. So that's what I suggest. You've read it. Have you read Andrew's book, the How to Day Trade for a Living?
Partially, not completed.
Okay, well, the ABCD pattern's in there, and that's the easiest way it's described. As in any book out there, that's the most basic one. And he writes it down very simply, what it should look like, what are the indicators to look for, what the volume looks like. Just those are the rules, basically. So you can write down the rules from there, or rather, write down the strategy from there, and then write down your own execution, which he also describes in the book. So you can just basically copy it, but you make sure you write it down. That's important. Once you start making your own notes, it starts getting embedded in your brain just by writing. So that's an important part of the process. And then once it's embedded, then you get into the replay mode and the practice mode and give it a go. And really, when you give it a go, don't judge yourself. That's really important. A lot of people take 2 trades, they're both lost, and they're judging themselves. Oh, I don't know what to do. That's rubbish. I'm telling you, that's rubbish. You got to do 100 trades and then look back on those 100 trades and see overall profitable, overall not. What was the risk and the reward? Were you able to sustain it, doing it consistently, or is it always a struggle for you? If it's a struggle for you, well, maybe it's not for you. You resonate with something else, So you got to do that. And so when you do these practice trades, also take screenshots of every trade, even the practice ones, replay mode. Journal it, use an Excel sheet if you want to, or there's journaling software out there. For now, you just need an Excel sheet, make it easy and simple. You don't need to get into software and stuff just yet. If you want to, you can. It's not a big deal. And I think you just need that process. You need 100 trades under your belt on a specific style of trading. And you can do that in a week or in 3-4 days just by spending a few hours a day in the replay mode. I do it all the time. I'm in the replay mode like hours every week just looking at stuff. So that's the process. That's the first step. And then the results will speak to you. It'll jump out of the Excel sheet at you like, oh, wow, I know what I'm doing here. This makes sense. This aspect really makes a lot of sense. This aspect is a bit more troublesome of it. So let's just focus on what's making sense. Do more of what's working, less of what isn't. And look, now you've refined it. Now it's become a Keshav's ABCD strategy rather than the generic strategy, right? And then now you're making progress. Now it'll be more sustainable for your day trading. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep, that does. Just one follow-up. So when you say take 100 trades on ABCD pattern, do you mean so I've gone through these ABCD the pattern videos that we have on Trading Terminal, the course. And then in the course itself, it mentions that, hey, you can find this ABCD patterns for this stock on this day around this time. So do you mean like I go around that time and then I see like if it's, because at that point in time I already know that it's gonna
Yeah.
form the ABCD pattern. So
Uh,
so I just so do you
no, no,
mean like go with that or like
do it this way. Do it this way. Just go very simply. Look at the watch list for the day. You can start from any time in the last 5 years.
Mhm.
Look at the watch list that the most common watch list that most of the moderators here in BBT have. You don't have to bother with the ones I do, but do what everyone's looking at? Basically, the ones with a catalyst and big move or earnings or whatever. Put those on. So put one of those on and watch it for the first 30 minutes. You might get a trade. If you didn't, okay, no big deal. Done. Go to the next one, another 30 minutes. Go to the next one, another 30 minutes. And then journal your trades. And even journal the ones you didn't take, because that's more important. Because I'll tell you again, 95% of your trade book should tell you when not to trade.
Okay.
95% is watching and not trading. If you watch me trade, 95% I'm just sitting there and talking to people. I'm not trading because the setup's not there. So that's the real hard part. That's when you gotta practice that. Staying out as a knowing, pick your battles. Really pick your battles. Otherwise you're gonna lose. So just again, you have the watch list that's already published in Trading Terminal for I don't know how many months and years, every day on this date, but don't go into the details of on this day, on this ticker, on this time. You're cheating. Just look
Yeah.
at the ticker, put the ticker on, and just watch it. Watch it. You know what to look for because you've written down your notes. If
Mhm.
it presents itself according to your notes, then interact with it. Otherwise, watch it. Don't interact with it. And journal that. You can say, okay, this one I watched it, didn't touch it because it didn't set up because of whatever. You can write down those notes on every trade you do, and those notes will speak to you. That's your journal. A journal will speak to you. You look at it a month later, be like, oh, whoa, look at that. This is a recurring pattern, and this part of it, this recurring pattern, is very successful for me. This recurring pattern is causing trouble for me. Now you're evolving, right? Yeah.
Got
So
it.
that's
Cool.
the process. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I can't think of any other questions. I think that answers. I think, yeah, I have a lot to do. Uh,
Mhm.
Anything else that you think I should be doing apart from this?
Yeah, do that in the replay mode. And when you come to live trading, you can do simulator trading too, or paper trading. So when the market's open, you can come in the chat room with me, and where we're trading every day, and just paper trade. You can do the same thing. It's in Trading Terminal. You don't really need DOS for that. We already have the tool in Trading Terminal for real-time trading.
Yep.
Same thing. Just show up and do it. And in that, of course, you're in the live session. You can ask questions and whatever it is. Everyone's there. So do that. So that's basically two angles from where you practice. One is, paper trading the live market. The other is the replay mode. And again, journal everything, screenshot everything. You don't know
Got
what
it.
piece of journal you're going to need later. Just do that, and it'll speak to you. After 100, remember, you must get at least 100 because that's the law of large numbers, right? Statistics. 2 or 3 or 5 is not going to make any sense. 100 makes sense. Yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think those were all my questions. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate, like, you're like always available. Like, do you sleep or
Uh, I don't know. I should find a way to sleep. I struggle with sleep. But
yeah.
hey, all good. It's a pleasure. Anytime, just reach out. Any questions, I'm always here. So no big deal. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Avi. Can you share the recording?
Yeah. I'll send it over to you. It'll be right in a few minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Cool.
Thanks, Avi.
Sure.
Bye.
Take it easy. Talk to you soon. Bye.